So let's talk about Dodgers-Brewers Game 2 tonight. How you betting on this game?
See, so I think there's some value here with the Brewers. I
Mm-hmm.
make the Brewers a slight favorite at home. And this really comes down to just, again, you have so much more money in the individual game market once you get to the Major League Baseball playoffs that, and relative to like what these games, the type of handle these games would get during the regular season. And so the Dodgers, we've seen them win a couple of games. We see them win a series against the Reds, which was, argue kind of a mismatch. And then they go out and beat the Phillies. And I said on my show yesterday, I still think the Dodgers are probably the best of the four teams remaining. And I still believe that to be the case. But if I'm just looking at this game, I'm not sure that the Brewers should be a home underdog with this matchup. So we'll start with
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta, I don't think gets enough credit. He's had a tremendous season. 2.70 ERA, 1.08 whip. Quietly has been like pitching is hard to find these days. You don't find many very just really quality starting pitchers that you can pretty much trust to go out there every fifth day. And he's been one of them, yet I don't think he gets the credit that like a Tariq Skubal gets or a Zach Wheeler before he got hurt, or even a Yamamoto that we'll talk about in a second. He just kind of, he's up there in Milwaukee. I feel like this Brewers team has flown under the radar for a lot of the season. He's flown under the radar for a lot of the season. And I think you have people looking at him saying, well, he struggled a little bit against the Cubs, and that might be true, but that's a division rival. Those two teams, Cubs, Brewers, played 18 games this year. At some point, that's a good Cubs lineup. They're going to figure out a guy like Peralta after getting that much exposure to him year over year. And even last series where you're going to have people look and say, well, he didn't pitch very well against the Cubs. 15 strikeouts and 9 2/3. He just kind of gave up a big hit or two. I wouldn't put too much stock into his quote unquote struggles against a division rival that knows him well. Not saying that the Dodgers don't have a great lineup. They absolutely do. I wasn't overly impressed with the Dodgers at bats the last couple games yesterday, and then going back to the Phillies series where they kind of, needed a 2-1 win to win that series. And then I look at Yamamoto. I mean, he's great as well, but I don't think that there's a huge difference between Yamamoto Peralta from like a power rating standpoint here.
Okay.
And the second Yamamoto's out of this game, that's a big advantage to the Brewers. I don't trust Dave Roberts in these late inning situations right now. He's going to get bit at some point. The Phillies pretty much had him. They let him off the hook. Yesterday, Bryce Terang doesn't get out of the way of that ball. It's a tie game. I really felt like the Brewers were going to make him pay for bringing Sasaki in the ninth inning. Dave Roberts, not a great in-game manager. And right now, I just think that he's looking in his bullpen. There's good arms in there, but not ones that I really want in like a big-time leverage spot. I didn't like the Sasaki decision. He's a guy that I think is thrown better out of the bullpen, but I'd rather have him like they brought him into the Phillies series, a 1-1 game in the eighth inning at home, up 2-1 in the series, not on the road in a save situation. And again, I'm surprised they didn't have to pay for that. I think the Brewers have a nice late inning advantage here because of kind of drawing some blood late last night and feeling like they could have got over the hump. And then I don't think Peralta Yamamoto is a huge disadvantage for the Brewers. So now you put the Brewers at home, down 1-0 in the series, but you're going to give me plus 110. I think there's real value on Milwaukee there.
We're talking with Adam Trigger, pro sports handicapper for Wager Talk. Find him on X at Adam Trigger, WT. Okay, so when you try to reconcile the entire scope of the regular season versus what you've seen in the playoffs, like how much emphasis do you put on one versus the other when looking at these particular matchups?
So that's a really interesting question. I think it plays here a little bit because, of course, you had 6 regular season matchups between these two teams. Milwaukee won all 6 of them, but the Dodgers come out and win last night. So I go back to the regular season. All of those were in July. They were somewhat insignificant games for the Dodgers. One series came right before the All-Star break. One came right out of the All-Star break. Dodgers had a lot of All-Stars. I would not judge the Dodgers on those series.
Okay.
Peralta pitched in both series, so they've seen him twice. One, he pitched really well. One, the other, they kind of knocked him around a little bit. But again, back in July, I even said on my show yesterday, I'm going to put almost zero stock into this matchup as it happened during the regular season. But for again, I think playoff baseball, you really have to handicap the managers a little bit. I've been saying this all postseason. I prefer to lean toward the side that has the better, that who I believe to be the better manager, at least the better, kind of guy that's going to pull the strings in game, that might have the better game plan where it sets up a little better. I really think that's Pat Murphy right now. He has blown my expectations away for him as a manager when he kind of took over for Craig Counsell. And Dave Roberts, again, he's always got the best talent. He's going to blow one at some point. I don't think he knows exactly what he wants to do at the end of games. Yesterday, you can see he brings Sasaki in for the save, second guesses himself, trying and gets out of a jam on a pitch where it wasn't even close to the zone. The pitch before easily could have hit Terang and walked in the winning run. It was just, I don't trust Roberts in these tight, close games, and you're going to have a game like that. You can't keep getting in these games. So the previous one was the Phillies, right? They end up kind of benefiting from the Kirkring throw to home and winning an extra inning game. I just don't think Dave Roberts is capable of not screwing up a close game at some point. And so now that I can get the Brewers as an underdog in a spot, I'd be surprised if this is a blowout. So give me a close game, home team, better, who I think might have the better late game setup, and at home, and you're going to give me plus money. Like that to me is worth a bet.